This month on the Key Figures podcast, Bright Obeng is joined by Erwin Malcorps, Managing Director at Sweco Belgium. Erwin Malcorps' professional career combines years of technical expertise in large infrastructure projects with very solid experience at a high managerial level. Erwin started his professional career in the fields of water management, infrastructure works, and project management, and then quickly moved on to the responsibility of office manager. In doing so, he was able to secure projects for Sweco. As Managing Director of Sweco Belgium, Erwin currently manages all areas of activity within the company. How does Erwin see finance leadership within his current role at Sweco Belgium? What are the guiding principles within the company to inspire and motivate managers and their teams? And what are the core themes and trends Sweco Belgium will focus on in the coming years? Erwin ends by suggesting an interesting book worth reading. Please enjoy this podcast with Erwin Malcorps.
Erwin, welcome to the Key Figures podcast.
Thank you, Bright.
It's a real pleasure having you on. It took a while for obvious reasons. We've been trying to get this finally. So very, very happy.
It was a bit uncertain due to the COVID crisis.
Exactly. But very, very happy to have you on. I always start with the same question, Erwin. What's your story?
Well, when I look back a while ago, I graduated in 96. So more than 25 years ago, as a civil engineer. And then I started immediately at a company called Aquafin. It's a company which was responsible in Flanders for the network of sewage systems.
Yes.
Where I worked for 2 or 3 years, and then I started to work in a small engineering and consultancy agency in the south of Brussels, I believe with 20 people. A very small company, which was acquired 1 or 2 years later by Grondmij,
yes,
well-known European engineering and consultancy agency. And that Grondmij was acquired in 2015 by Sweco.
Yes.
So I've seen a lot of companies, but in a very natural way, because those companies were always acquired by another. And I started as a civil engineer, working on infrastructure projects. Afterwards I became team manager, operational manager, and for 10 years now I'm a CEO for Grondmij and today Sweco.
Okay. Can you maybe, for those who don't know Sweco, maybe give us a short overview of what Sweco does?
So Sweco is a Scandinavian company with headquarters in Stockholm, but very present in Belgium. So we're working in several industries. We're well known in the infrastructure business. Because often you get stuck in traffic jams and you see the Sweco logo next to the road. We have also lots of building projects, industry, pharmaceutical projects, working in the energy business as well, and a lot also in urban planning, landscaping. So we have a lot of experts working in different industries.
Makes sense. Great. I wanted to talk to you today about a few topics. Actually, one of the key topics that I would actually like to start with you with is leadership. What does it mean to you?
Well, I guess all CEOs will tell you the same story, but leadership is extremely important. And I believe, to be honest, for Sweco maybe even more than for other companies. Why? Because when you look at what we're doing, we're responsible for our designs in the building environment and building society. So this means that all our experts, all our project managers, they take up quite some responsibility on site. And of course, we're also working with key experts, the best in Belgium, the best in Europe. This asks for strong leadership.
Yes.
To inspire those people, to manage the teams. Of course, they have a lot of responsibility, operational responsibility, but also commercial, about knowledge sharing. So this means that we focus a lot on leadership, and we train our people as well to become strong leaders.
Yes. Okay, makes sense. And in regard to that, I'm sure you have guiding principles in your leadership skills, actually. And the question is, what are these guiding principles for you you might call them non-negotiables, but what are these guiding principles that you use consciously or unconsciously in your day-to-day?
I can tell you what will never work at Sweco is the kind of, we call it the old-fashioned autocratic way of leadership. It doesn't work. I believe even the most important competence we expect from our leaders is that they can inspire the teams. We have our mission statement, which is clear. We want to transform society together. That's what drives our people. That's what inspires them. So this means that we need leaders that can really inspire the teams and can trigger them to challenge our clients to come up with the best conceptual designs. So that inspirational aspect is very important. This means we ask for strong people managers.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
for sure. That's one of the key competences we expect from all our leaders. And of course, we also expect them to be strong managers as well. But I believe that balance between, on the one hand, good managers, but also leaders with good strategic views. They have to understand their markets. They have to speak with the clients. So we always say it's not that easy to be a leader at Sweco because we expect a lot of them.
Sure. Okay, makes sense. And obviously, as the CEO of Sweco Belgium, I'm sure that you have I know you have a strong management team, but what are your key focuses? What are your key figures, I would say, as a leader within the firm?
But glad you know that I'm very proud to have a very strong management team. Of course, it's extremely important to have a strong team helping you to achieve the goals. What are our key, let's call it key KPIs?
Yes.
Well, when I look at myself, and at least that's what my people tells me, is that I put high standards and I have high expectations. I suppose I'm very demanding. At the same time, I have also a very clear strategic view where we want to be within 3 years, within 5 years' time. So this also means that we're continuously doing change management.
Of course.
Sometimes it's surprising because we make our budgets, of course, at year end. And even after some months, we already discover and figure out that we have to change it and to adapt it to a new situation. So it's an ongoing change management. So the key figures we look at, of course, we're working in a consultancy environment. Revenue is important.
Yes.
And of course, the margin at the end, the EBITDA is important. As we work a lot for our clients doing consultancy, I tend to say, and I hope my CFO will not be offended when I say it that way, is it's quite easy, our business, because we're only selling expertise. We're not making products as such. We're just selling expertise, which makes it's quite important to also look at our billing ratio, as we call it, so the number of productive hours, because that's, of course, what we're selling. So that's one of our key KPIs. But even more important, besides the financial KPIs, we have a lot of other KPIs, much more focused on quality. We're measuring the satisfaction of our clients. We're measuring their feedback. Also, we want to change something. We want to transform society. So this also means that we're looking at the level of sustainability within our projects. Yes. And I believe those KPIs are as important as all the financials ones, because those KPIs are much more focusing on the mid-long and on the long term. So,
sure. Really makes sense. You just mentioned your CFO. Obviously, I know her very well. The relationship between a CEO and a CFO is extremely crucial, regardless of the industry, right?
For sure.
How do you spot an excellent CFO as a CEO?
So I'm very happy that at least I have a very strong CFO.
Yes.
And we have a good, intense collaboration, which I believe is also extremely important for the company. So yeah, I suppose I was just happy and lucky that I found Vicky, our CFO, I guess now 10 years ago. I believe what is important, we are very complementary. So as I just explained, I have an engineer background, a technical background. So my first focus will always be a technical focus.
Yes.
And organizing business, finding new technologies, see how we can improve business. And Vicky helps me. And this means that I can focus on the technical aspects because she will focus on the financial parts of the business. But I believe a CFO should be much more than only the financial director. Vicky, our CFO, she's doing much more than only the financial reporting. I believe it's much more the general director of the business.
Yes.
She also takes care of the legal aspects and much more of the shared services within our company.
Yes. Makes good sense. You just mentioned your focus, your KPIs within the business makes absolute sense in a human capital intensive, if I may put it that way, business. What are the core themes and trends that you're focusing on for the coming years as Sweco? Because you just mentioned that long term is important, sustainability is important. So what are the themes that you as a leader of the firm, but also Sweco as a company is focusing on for the coming years?
There are a lot of new trends,
okay.
Really, and it makes it such an interesting time to work for Sweco at this moment.
Okay.
It feels even like a revolution.
Really?
When you look at what happened, and I believe that COVID was a bit of a trigger.
Okay.
Future is green.
That's clear.
And it's clear that we need to act in a much more sustainable way. But that, in fact, is what Sweco already was doing before the COVID crisis. But what we feel today, that is on top of the agenda. Everyone is looking on how they can improve, how they can reduce their carbon footprint. So I believe that all our clients today ask us on how they can improve, what they can do to improve their sustainable footprint.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what we're offering them. So we receive a lot of requests. For instance, we started up an energy division, I believe, 3 years ago now, with maybe 5 people, 5 experts. Today we are 80.
Wow.
So there's a huge demand
Yes.
on renewable energy expertise, on hydrogen, on windmills. We have this expertise today within the company. There's a lot of going on sustainable mobility,
Yes.
on electrical vehicles,
Absolutely.
on charging points. Again, a lot of new demands. The same goes for building projects. Building projects. Everything we try to do today is to make them fossil-free. So again, this is another conceptual design which we do together with architects. Also, the industry in Belgium is changing a lot.
Sure.
They ask us to give them expertise and to help them to use less fossil fuel and to come up with other innovative solutions. So to be honest, that's what I also feel within the company. There's a lot of enthusiasm. It's also our mission and our vision statement is so clear. We want to transform society together with our clients,
Yes.
together with all our experts we have within the group. To give an answer to all those trends which we see on the market. So it really, really challenging times. It's fun to work for Sweco at the moment.
I can imagine. How do you prioritize which trends to focus on? Just as a side question to that.
Yeah, there are a lot of priorities. And to be honest, when we prepare our strategic plans and we look at the expertise we need within 3-5 years' time, that's a challenge as such. Find the right expertise, keep them, of course, focusing on reduction of turnover, but at the same time, how can we develop internally or maybe in a cross-border collaboration with our experts within the group, how we can develop new expertise needed tomorrow, today, and within 1 year's time. Okay. So it's a real challenge. It gives quite some pressure on the company as well to make sure that we stay those pioneers on the market,
Yes.
that we find the best experts, and that we stay at this high level of expertise expected and required by the market and by our clients.
Of course, makes good sense. I always say that each CEO, also regardless of the industry, should focus on three things: revenue, recruitment, and retention. Because regardless of your strategic plan, if you don't have the revenue, if you're not able to bring in the talent that you need, but maybe the most important thing, retain them, you can never execute your 1 year, 5 year, or 10-year plan. Mm-hmm. How do you keep the focus on your management team to focus on these three things?
Yeah. I believe 3 important KPIs. Honestly, I believe we have even more KPIs. And when we start a strategic meeting or a meeting with the employees, I believe our main focus and maybe the main message or the first message is always what did we do looking back in our projects? How did we improve our sustainable approach in our projects? So the content of what we are doing, I believe, is an extremely important driver to us.
Yes.
That will always be, I believe, our first message. Of course, then when we look at our financials, revenue is an important one, growth is important, but there we have, of course, the best trigger. We want to grow not just to be the number one on the market and to become bigger, and size is important. No, we want to grow because we want to offer our clients the best expertise on the market, and they expect us. They come to us as a company that can provide them all the expertise they need today. And the projects today are much more complex than they were 20 years ago. So we need to grow and to develop extra services. So that's the reason why we want to grow. So revenue is for sure also one of our main KPIs. Retention and recruitment, of course, as already explained, we're working with people.
Yeah, of course.
We're working with key experts, urban planners, engineers. There's a war for talent going on.
Absolutely.
We know, we feel it.
Yeah.
Let's say that this is also one of the key topics in all our management meetings.
Yes.
What do we do? Of course, we have a good recruitment team. We have an internal recruitment team because we believe that's the best approach. With good, skilled people understanding our business, an internal recruitment team. And retention is, of course, one of our main KPIs. What do we do? I believe leadership is extremely important in retention. That's also the reason why we focus a lot on leadership. We have a lot of employee surveys, so we ask them, are you satisfied?
Yes.
What can we do to improve? Are you satisfied with your management, with your team? So it's a kind of a 360,
yes.
Survey, but let's call it a 180 survey, because they can give some feedback on their leadership, on their management. And I believe that also helps us to create a lot of transparency within the company. It's just a normal situation that an employee can give feedback to his manager about his way of leading the business.
Yes.
So this is just a culture we have within the company to speak up. There's transparency, no offense, and that's the spirit within the company. And that, I believe, helps us to reduce our turnover to levels. Today we are satisfied, and I believe we're better than the market, the industry in general today.
Excellent, excellent. Switching gears a bit, what books have you gifted the most to other people?
Well, to be honest, I'm not reading that many books. Maybe I should do a bit more. But when I find
the
time to read the book, some political books about politicians I like very much, like Obama's book.
Okay.
I like his statement when he gave his first speech. When he inspired the nation, yes, we can. I like that one because you should always believe in the power of what you can achieve.
Yes.
And when I look at our company, we have so many experts, and sometimes I feel that we are a bit too humble, no, we have the best experts, and we can really add something to our concepts. We can really help our clients with their technical questions, technical issues, and come up with the best designs that can really have an impact in society. And when you see what we're doing day after day, that really makes me happy and proud when I look at what we're doing in this company.
This, obviously, you just said that if you have the time, obviously you're time constrained, but any books that you said, well, I have actually given it a bit more to people because it has inspired me. Is it the specific one from Obama, or is it?
Maybe I should give a copy to the management team. I like his statement, to be honest, because it shows ambition.
It does. I fully agree with you. Getting a bit personal now, because it's obviously very easy to see a CEO or a managing director of a huge company and think that they've had a very linear way to success. It's never that way, obviously, in life. What mistake has actually given you the biggest upside in your life, looking back in your career?
I believe I made a lot of mistakes, to be honest. And certainly as a young engineer, we make lots of mistakes. That's also the message I always give within the company. We all make mistakes. But what is important is that we have an open mind and a culture within the company that everyone can speak up about those mistakes. That's, to me, the most important thing. If we figure out that someone made a mistake but tried to hide it, as a result, that it becomes worse to solve it afterwards, then we can be a bit upset. So we have a culture, just speak up, and we try to solve it. We all make mistakes. And me too, I guess I made a lot of mistakes. And what people at least tells me is that I'm always going too fast. And it's always the same booby trap. Certainly when you're stressed and you're going so fast that you don't look back and see if everyone really understood what you asked them or what you were trying to achieve. On the other hand, it's hard to change. At least I'm almost 50, so it will be difficult to change. But at least I'm aware that sometimes I should a bit slow down and make sure that the team really understands what I'm trying to tell them.
Yes. Very good. And then maybe with the last question, what kind of legacy would you like to leave behind?
First, Bright, I'm 48, so I'm not really thinking on the legacy. So there are still a lot of challenges in front of us. But what I just said before, I'm really proud when I look at what our people are doing. And again, sometimes they are a bit too humble. When you speak with some engineers or with urban planners, they feel like it's normal what they're doing. They just designed a new bridge. Okay, it's just a cable stay bridge. No, it's not that normal. It's a huge achievement, and it helps towards sustainable transport and mobility. So I'm very proud on what our people are doing here. Really, we have top people working in this company, and what I hope is that in the next years I can help to develop this company even more, to set even higher standards, and to work with really the best experts on the market, and that Sweco will be seen as not only the largest player in the market, but really the key player on the market, and with the best experts. And we already made good steps, but I still see how we still can improve and take the next steps. And then when you look around and you see all those achievements, then
it makes you proud. So thankful for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for our podcast featuring our guest, Erwin Malcorps, and hosted by Bright Obeng. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the role and importance of finance within a successful company like Sweco Belgium. If you would like to support this episode, please share your comments or review on LinkedIn. To catch all the latest from Key Figures, you can follow our account at Key Figures Recruitment. Thanks again, and see you next time.